Hello everyone, I'm Lumo Jacob A. Jimenez, and today we're going to talk about solar energy, also known as the power of the sun. Solar energy is an important source of renewable energy, and in this video we'll learn why is it useful for the Philippines and how it can help provide electricity to homes, communities, and the country. First, why is solar energy suitable for Philippines? The Philippines is located in a tropical region, which means we receive significant amounts of sunlight throughout the year. Because of this, our country has good potential for using solar energy. However, solar energy production can still vary depending on the location, weather condition, and season. Solar energy can also be used in Filipino homes. Some households install solar panels on their rooftops to generate part of the electricity using sunlight. Depending on the system, extra electricity can either be stored or supplied to the electrical grid. This allows households to make use of the sunlight available around them. Solar energy can also benefit communities, especially those with limited access to the electrical grid. Solar panels combined with batteries can provide power for important things such as lights, communication device, and water system. This can be especially useful in isolated areas where getting electricity from the main grid can be difficult. Another way solar energy is used is through solar farms. Solar farms contain many solar panels that work together to generate electricity on a much larger scale. The electricity produced can be connected to the country power grid. Solar panels help increase the amount of renewable energy available for electrical generation. Now let's talk about solar energy and the Philippine energy demand. The Philippines need a large and reliable supply of electricity because our population and economy continue to grow. Think about your everyday life. You use electricity when charging your phone, turning on lights, using computers, watching television, or basically anything. As more homes, businesses, schools, and industry use electricity, the country needs to produce more or enough power to meet their demands or its demands. This is where the solar energy can help. Solar panels convert sunlight into electrical energy. Since the Philippines receive a significant amount of sunlight per year, this can contribute our electrical supply, which means solar energy can help the Philippines contain or produce power to meet its demand. However, solar energy doesn't have to replace every other energy source. Instead, it can become one part of the diverse energy system. Here's a fun fact. Solar energy doesn't require fuel like coal or gasoline to generate electricity. Its main energy source is simply the sunlight. Of course, solar power also has limitations. Solar panels or solar power produce less electricity when sunlight is limited, such as cloudy days, weather days, or at night. That's why batteries and other energy sources can be important for maintaining a reliable supply. So the goal isn't just to use solar energy alone. It's about combining different energy sources and technologies to create a more reliable and sustainable energy system for the Philippines. Now let's look at the development of solar energy in the Philippines. Solar energy has been developing throughout different types of projects, including rooftop solar system and a large solar power project. One example is rooftop solar. Instead of having solar panels only in huge power plants, panels can also be installed on buildings and homes. These systems can generate electricity directly from the sunlight reaching the roof. Another example is solar farm. A solar farm containing many solar panels working together to generate electricity on a much larger scale. The electricity produced can then be connected to the country power grid. The development of this project shows that renewable energy is becoming an increasingly important part for the country energy system. Here's something interesting. Solar energy can be used at a different scale. A small system might help provide electricity for a single home, while a much larger solar farm can generate electricity for the grid. This means solar power isn't limited to just one type of location or user. As technology continues to improve, Solar energy systems can become more useful and accessible in different parts of the Philippines. So the development of solar energy isn't just about building more panels, it's also improving batteries, electrical system technology, and planning. Now, let's look toward the future of solar energy in the Philippines. Solar energy has the potential to become an increasingly important part of the country's renewable energy supply. One reason is technology. Solar panels continue to improve, and better technology can help make solar power more useful and accessible. But solar panels aren't only the important technology. Batteries are also important because they can store electricity for later use. For example, electricity generated during the periods of sunlight can potentially be stored and used when sunlight is unavailable. Imagine this. It's a sunny afternoon and solar panels are generating electricity. Instead of all that electricity having to be used immediately, a battery system can store some of it for later. This can be especially useful because solar energy production naturally changes depending on sunlight, weather, and a time of the day. Another important part of the future is responsible planning. Building solar projects requires careful consideration of locations, electricity infrastructure, environmental effects, and the needs of the communities. So, the future of the solar energy isn't simply about putting solar panels everywhere. It's about using technology wisely, planning properly, and finding ways to make renewable energy work together with the country's existing energy system. If these developments continue, solar energy could play a much bigger role in helping the Philippines meet its future electricity needs or demands. And now we've reached the end of our discussion about solar panels in the Philippines. Let's quickly review what we learned. First, the Philippines receive a significant amount of sunlight throughout the year, giving the country good potential for solar energy. Second, solar panel can be used in homes, allowing households to generate part of their electricity. Third, solar energy can help communities, especially areas that have limited access to the electrical grid. Fourth, solar farms can generate electricity on a much larger scale and connect that electricity to the power grid. And finally, solar energy could become an increasingly important part of the Philippines' renewable energy supply as technologies continues to improve. But remember, solar energy isn't a perfect solution by itself. Its production depends on sunlight, weather, location, and other factors. That's why having a diverse and reliable energy system is important. Here's one final thought. Every time sunlight reaches a solar panel, there's an opportunity to turn that natural energy into electricity. The challenge for the Philippines is finding effective and responsible ways to make the most of that opportunity. Solar energy has the potential to support homes, communities, and country as a whole. And as technology continues to improve, the power of the sun can become even bigger part of our energy future. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new about solar energy and its future in the Philippines.